My name is Jason Kieck. I've been heading Jason Kieck Designs for I think over 30 years and recently have moved over into interiors under the brand Ilula, which means it's simple, and it's all speaks to the concept of the brand as far as the intentionality behind it, and yeah, that's me. From the fashion aspect, I grew up doing ballroom Latin American dancing, was always inspired by the amazing gowns of the girls wore. And I think that's where my styling kind of moved over across to a very feminine aspect as far as making women look elegant and beautiful. So my styling and intentionality is to make a woman look as beautiful as possible. And that's working with the body to emphasize the good points and hide the flaws and the insecurities. And so yeah, that's the clothing aspect. I think highlights for me, first of all, was my wedding 25 years ago this year, and so I did my wife's wedding gown, obviously, and all the bridesmaids and the whole retinue. But that kind of, I was inspired there by Audrey Hepburn from Our Fair Lady, with that beautiful, elegant gown that she wore to the ball. And when I saw that and I met my wife a few weeks later, I said to her, well, I knew that we were going to be married. I showed her the video and she hadn't seen it yet. And without saying anything about why I was showing her, when she saw Audrey Hepburn in that gown, she said, that's my wedding dress. So that was kind of a highlight for me, my first big one. And then subsequently has been invited to SA Fashion Week, and I think in recent years, pre-COVID, we were doing annual gala charity events where we would organize a whole event here in PE. It was the social event of the year. We'd get celebrities down, I'd put on a couture show, raise funds for various charities, and I think we've raised well over R1 million over the years. But through that and being hosted in Port Elizabeth at the Boardwalk by Sun International, I was then approached by Sun International to do events up in Pretoria as well at the newly built Times Square. So I was up and down while they were still building the venue, and we had meetings and we put on our first big event up there, which to me was a huge compliment, because I mean the sponsorship from Sun International side was well over R1 million just in the venue and the lighting and the decor, or the stage. So I myself as a single designer had this entire arena with all the top technology in the world and top artists producing this amazing fashion event, which was, yeah, for me a huge highlight. When I'm designing for a client, it's very particular and it's very personal. So I think there's a lot of psychology involved in that. It's understanding the client. I think within a few minutes of them walking in, I can see what it is that they're comfortable with, what it is that they're wanting, and then design according to that. Asking what is it that they would like to show about themselves, what parts of their body are they insecure about or confident in, and then designing based on their personality what the event is about, because usually what I'm making is something for a specific event. And 99% of the time the first design is on point, and so I think that plays an important role in the client feeling comfortable, that you're not pushing your ideas on them, that they're being heard and what they're wanting is coming out in the end of it. Fashion for me is an inspired design that is, for me, when I'm bringing that into a design or for a client, that hints to trends but isn't overcome by it. So although fashion is very seasonal and annual, and there's a different look and feel every year, or sometimes several times a year, I find that with the garments that I'm making, because they're not one seasonal, I find that what I need to do is pick on the trends but personalize it to the client, and that brings a fashion statement with regards to what's current, but that's also timeless. For me, a big part of what I've been doing over the last few years is giving back, and whether it be donating dresses to charities for underprivileged girls who don't have gowns, to raising funds. And I think that is something that I would like to leave behind, is that Jason Kieck Designs was more than just a fashion brand. It was a brand that was philanthropic and also tried to see where needs were and try to meet them where possible.